Bella Vista Community Television presents Bella Vista and Beyond. Today our hosts are Trisha Ayers and Bambi Crozier, and we will be talking about cognitive behavioral therapy and welcome health. And now to the studio for our program.
Hello, welcome to Bella Vista and Beyond. My name's Bambi. I'm one of your hosts, and also with me is Miss Trisha today. Hi, Trisha.
Hi, Bambi. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Did you survive the great frost?
We did. We had no issues really getting in and out of where we are, but a lot of our staff had a hard time getting in and out of the roads, especially here in Bella Vista. We do have one member that lives here, and he couldn't get out till Friday.
We were stuck in, but I must say that the road crews were doing an amazing job on the main highways and the main roads. It was wonderful to see. So big shout out to them. They worked super hard.
Yes, they did. Well, we're glad that you're with us today. We're going to go ahead and get started with our show. And I would like to tell you a little bit about what we've got coming up for next month as I get ready to introduce you to my guest today. So next month in March, we've got spring coming. We've got, and if you're a homeowner, there are things that you need to do with your home in the spring and sometimes in the fall as well. So we've got a home inspector coming on next month who's going to walk us through what it looks like when he inspects his own home, the things that he looks for, and then we'll also have a panel of an HVAC person, an electrician, a plumber, and all these individuals that we'll be able to reference to as we go through what his inspection looks like. So if you are a new homeowner or someone who may need some help on having someone come out and look at your home, you might want to tune in next month and find out what we're talking about. But for today, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Kati Wells. She is a cognitive behavioral therapist, and I'm really excited that she's here with us. Last month, we talked a little bit about the isolation that we have been through, whether it's physical or emotional, over the last 12 months. And it really has. I can't believe it's been almost 12 months. It's rather shocking that it's been that long. And I wanted to bring Miss Kati on today to talk about the tips that we can use when we start to feel depressed or sad or anxious or isolated and alone. So Miss Kati, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the opportunity because mental health is so important right now. Mental health awareness, mental health services. One thing that we as a whole have been focused on is physical exposure in the last year. But maybe there's not as much focus on the exposure that you might experience emotionally or mentally. And really there are things that we can control that would affect negative exposure, because the literature does say that negative exposure will start to creep in and cause some of these problems that would make what we're experiencing much worse. So that is one thing that's a message that as mental health professionals we would like to promote.
Fantastic. So tell me more about what that negative exposure is. What are you talking about with that?
Sure. Negative exposure, so to people, to things that we watch and hear and see. And one way to maybe control or mitigate a little bit of that is with your media exposure. Whether that's social media, because there's very much a lack of control there, or then just media exposure in what you're watching in the news and things like that. Not that we shouldn't be informed, that's not what we're advertising, but that at some point, if that begins to affect you adversely, you hear day in and day out the things about COVID-19, day in and day out the things about that's happening in the country, things of this nature, you would see how that type of exposure could possibly have an adverse effect.
I totally understand, and that's exactly what I was concerned with, and why I wanted to bring you on is the amount of people that I'm seeing that have been negatively impacted by COVID, by the divisiveness that's within our country right now, whether it's political or our views on masks or our views on our whatever that's going on in our lives, and there's a lot of it right now.
Right.
So tell us some tips. I looked at your website, and I know that there's a lot of things that are out there. I did some research even prior to this interview. to find out what are some things we could do at home, what are some warning signs that I need to look at within myself and maybe within those that are in my sphere of influence within my home, where I can look for what do I need to do if we get to this point.
Sure.
Talk to me about that.
Sure. And so the type of therapy that I practice, cognitive behavioral, focuses on the cognition, which is what you're thinking, making sure that there's accuracy there, making sure that there's things that you protect there, similar to the negative exposure, right? Maybe checking some of those thoughts with someone that you love, because if you're isolated and your mind is wandering, you can see how that might be problematic and getting you to a point to where you're more depressed or anxious because of maybe how you're seeing something, your perspective on something. So that's the cognitive piece of it. And then the behavioral is what we're doing. And that's how we can affect change. And you might say, well, we're limited in what we can do. And so our control there might be to reach out to someone. And it doesn't even have to be a professional. It can be your friend or someone that you love. You know, tell someone that you're thinking of them today. That's important, and that will mitigate some of the way that maybe we feel that isolation. Other things that we can do that are within our control: what we eat, what we drink. Again, our exposure to certain things, our exposure to media, making sure that maybe if you're working from home, it's really easy to maybe get in a position that is kind of not conducive to a productive working environment. Making sure that you're setting up a situation that promotes that productivity, and that will make you feel like you're making gains towards the things that will be the goals that you have for yourself.
Absolutely. I love what you said when you talked about your thinking. What are you thinking? And I often have told my kids, listen, what you think becomes your words, becomes your actions, become your destiny. So don't speak that into your world. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And to your point of where do we maybe know that there are some warning signs? Sometimes it's easy to see the behavioral ones, like maybe we're oversleeping or something has changed environmentally.
Right.
But that for yourself, evaluating the thought process, is it becoming more negative? Are you potentially depressed or having thoughts maybe that aren't morbid, but maybe they're negative, or maybe they're, you know, I just wish I didn't have to do this right now. Things like that. Those are signs that things might be progressively getting worse, and that might be an indication that some type of intervention would need to happen.
Right. Things within our own self that I'm monitoring, I'll just be transparent because that's all I know how to be, is I'm monitoring how much time I'm spending online, like what you say, how much am I allowing that news to come in to this space? And what is my mind thinking about it as it's coming in? How much time are my children spending on their game systems? Or, you know, and I know that it's hard when it was cold like it has been the last couple of weeks. But we're coming into spring. I cannot wait for the hiking trails and to get out there again and start walking. We went on a walk through our neighborhood yesterday, and it was just such a relief to get outside and see the sun. So tips like that I know could really help. And then when I'm starting to look at, I want to make sure that my children are healthy. I want to make sure I'm healthy. If I'm not taking care of myself, there's no way I can take care of my kids.
Absolutely.
Take care of my husband, take care of my household. So those are kind of the things that I'm looking at. Now tell me if you feel if you feel like, listen, I'm going overboard on this. I know we can go for a walk, but what are some tips that tells me I need to reach out? I need to reach out for some help.
Sure. What are the things that we look for? Changes in behavior, changes in your negative thought process, or things like that. Typically what I tell anyone is, if you have the thought that you might need help, that's an indication right there. Similar to if you have the thought that you need to make an appointment, call then instead of waiting several weeks for my established patients, because usually that means, you know, we could mitigate something before it reaches a certain level.
Right.
You know, because more than likely it's going to, you know, progressively get worse or something like that. So as soon as you have the thought, that you might need help, or that you might need some type of assistance getting through these things. And the one thing that the pandemic has provided is a reduction of stigma in a way, because we're all experiencing adversities on a mass level. Right. And any type of change, any type of adjustment is going to cause some type of, even positive ones, even positive changes, cause us to have differences in our day-to-day. And so if you look at the amount of adjustment and change that we've had in the last year, it's insurmountable. And so you can see how maybe that would be difficult to begin to and start to build up over time, how it would be difficult to adjust and get stabilized when we really don't know what we're dealing with here.
Right.
And it seems to go on and on and on, and again, that unpredictability of how long we're going to be in this type of situation, facing all of us. So it's no longer an organic mental health issue, or that someone has, a problem that they can't maintain. These are things that are affecting the whole population.
The globe.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I think that's fantastic. And I believe that even if you feel like you're okay, there's a way that you can support mental health right now. And I was really interested in what's going on your website, where you have designed some really cool merchandise, gear.
Sure.
My kids always say, Mom, I want this merch from this place, right? This YouTuber.
Right.
I want to follow this YouTuber and get his merch. So tell me a little bit about your merchandise and what you're doing with that.
Right. So as a nod to my own self-care, and as a, something that I can do to support other people outside of my work, what I've done is I've designed some shirts, and that was fun, right? So that was kind of my own something that I could control. And I'm wearing one right now. It's Mental Health Matters, and here's our logo. And these are on our website on the Support CBT tab. And what I've done is all of the proceeds from these shirts go to support people that have lost resources that have typically funded their therapy experience, right? So this is our charitable care program, so to speak. So when you look at the past year, we've lost benefits, we've lost employment, we've lost things that, otherwise people wouldn't have the services.
Right.
And so this has allowed that to continue on a level, and has been a fun project for me.
It's been a blessing. Yeah, absolutely. So that website where they can go, can you tell us what that is?
Yes, it's www.katiwellscbt.com.
Okay, and then what is the tab again?
Support CBT.
Okay, perfect. And then do you have a blog or anything that you share out there, or do you share on Facebook?
Our Facebook page is full of a lot of rich content for people, and that is what we're doing. We're trying to reach people. So I've done a lot of interviews, done some videos on anxiety and depression and different types of things that would be great resources for people, that if you're not quite sure if it's something to reach out for, that would be a good place to start.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I saw that, and I also saw you I heard you on Amber's podcast for the Organizer Chicks.
Sure, yeah.
I know she does a lot of organization, and we've had her on the show before, and she comes at it from a cognitive, behavioral, all this mess is weighing me down and I can't get things done. I mean, I really enjoyed that too. You shared a lot of really neat things there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you prefer people to reach out to you. Is it through your website? Is it through a phone number? What would you prefer people
Honestly,
to reach to you?
That is so individually specific that we've created a lot of ways for people to do that.
Okay.
So there's an online form on my website that goes straight to us, that people can say, this is maybe what I'm looking for. Is that a good fit? You can call our phone number. You can text our phone number.
Okay.
And so you can reach out via Facebook, things like that.
And what is your phone number?
479 335-6482.
I never call myself either.
I've got several phone numbers. I almost said my personal one.
Oh.
So please don't call that one.
Right. Fantastic. Okay, so they can reach out to you on your website. They can reach out to you, and there's a form they can fill out there.
Right.
And they can reach out to you via phone. Can they reach out to you via Facebook?
Yes, Sure.
Absolutely. Okay.
We might take it to a different format if we start to schedule. But you can say, hey, just looking for some services.
Yeah, need some help or
Yeah,
some direction or some
absolutely.
guidance. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
You have been a blessing, I'm absolutely sure, to our viewers. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to Katie. You can find her on Facebook at Katie Wells CBT. You can find her at www.katiewellscbt.com, and you can always give her a call. We're going to go ahead and head off to break right now, and hold tight for us. We'll be right back.
We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Bella Vista Community Television presents our sponsor appreciation. Audrey's Resale Boutique, located in Forest Hills. Find the perfect item for your home decor. Beautiful collections, quality clothing, and more. Make your dreams come true at Audrey's.
Welcome back. Here is our host, Trisha.
Well, I would like to thank Bambi and Katie. That was a wonderful segment, and mental health is so very important at all times, but especially during what we're going through right now. And it's also important for our seniors. Seniors don't not forget about your mental health. And I know we're very fortunate in Bella Vista to have so many community programs. We do a great job of checking on our neighbors, but I would encourage everybody, just check on your neighbors from time to time, whether it's a senior or whether it's a young family. Everybody is needing a little bit more support right now, and that's one of the wonderful things about living in Bella Vista, that we are such a great community. I would love to introduce my next guest. I have known her for quite a few years now. Her name is Brittany Gulley, and she is the development manager for Welcome Health. Brittany,
Hello.
you're the director of development. I'm sorry.
Director of Development.
That sounds so much more important. I do apologize. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming to the studio
yes,
today.
I'm thrilled to be here.
So, Welcome Health. Tell people who may not know what Welcome Health is.
Yeah. I always love the opportunity to share about the amazing organization I work for. Welcome Health has been in existence for 35 years, 1986. We were established, and we have grown and expanded and changed locations to expand with the times and the demand for our services. But we are a charitable organization. We are located in Fayetteville, but we serve all of Northwest Arkansas and the surrounding area. If they qualify for our services and they can get to our location, we are happy to provide 100% free medical and dental care. I always like to say that twice, because in today's world, like, nothing's free anymore, right? Well, free services for low-income families that really need quality health care.
That is amazing. That is truly amazing. I was reading on your email, because I was checking your emails this morning, that who was your founder? It had something about the founder and the
Yes.
35 years and her vision.
Yes. Well, a wonderful, amazing African-American lady who we like to celebrate, of course, Black History Month and every month after that. Miss Jessie Bryant lives in Fayetteville and had the vision in 1986 to really serve her local neighbors. And she, I don't think, had quite the idea that it was going to blow up like it has. I mean, the need is there, and like I said before, people will come to receive the services. And so she had a great vision all those years ago, and we are hope to do her proud and continue out that vision, serving those low-income folks that really need us.
Right. And I will say that low income is not as low as some people think. I mean, we are struggling as a nation, and you may qualify and be part of that low income and not even realize it, I think.
It's really interesting to me because we do kind of cover a wide spectrum, and it's a little foreign to everybody when I say, you can't make more than 200% above federal poverty level. So what's federal poverty level? Well, that's different depending on your household size.
Yes.
So I always encourage people, you can quickly do a Google search for federal poverty level, look at your income size times 2, and that means you would qualify for our services. So a quick example is a family of 4. So we see that a lot. We have a mom and dad with 2 kids, or we have a single mom with 3 kids. Family size 4 cannot make more than $51,000 a year to qualify for our services. Well, there are a lot of people, like I said, that fit into that category. So we want to be a resource. We want to help those that need us, but you know, you kind of touched on right now for sure, because we have seen an increase in calls of new patients. So there are folks who have unfortunately lost their job in the pandemic, which then means they've lost their health insurance benefits, and they're doing quick Google searches and they're looking for, you know, discounted services or free services, and they're finding us. So we're really glad to not only help those established patients that we have, but really have an increase in new patients.
And something that we were on a Zoom networking meeting the other day, and something that was very interesting to me that I had not thought about, you were talking about the medical side of it, and that you generally don't see people who are 65 and over, but there were some cases of people not having Medicare or maybe being non-U.S. citizens, but green card holders, which I didn't even think about.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I had to correct myself on that networking meeting, because I do typically just say, unfortunately, we're not Medicare credentialed, so we don't see patients over the age of 65. But then I thought there are still people over the age of 65 that do not have Medicare, just like you mentioned. And a prime example is we are located in Fayetteville, so we obviously have the University of Arkansas right there as our neighbor. And we often have international students that are here for school or grad school, and when their family comes to visit them, they stay for extended periods. And so those family members may be here and they may find themselves ill and they need medical care, and we're happy that they can come to us for services. Or again, anyone who does not have Medicare, no matter your age, can still come. And let me talk a little bit about the medical services. So we have a nurse practitioner and an RN on staff, and so they kind of cover all your general medicine, of course. So we have a lot of patients that are diabetic, those that have cholesterol issues. Of course, you know, it was fitting for us to be on with Kati today, because we have some mental health services that we're offering, and during the pandemic, when people are stressed and depressed and feeling anxious, you know, we want to help them with that. But we do have specialists that volunteer for us as well. So our specialty areas include pediatrics, gynecology, neurology, nephrology, pulmonology, physical therapy. Like I said, we have a psychologist and a psychiatrist that are all available on an as needed basis to see our patients above and beyond what our nurse practitioner can do.
And I know we were talking earlier that the medical side did not close during the pandemic.
Correct.
And I think that is a huge thing.
Yeah.
A huge thing.
We have always been there for our patients since 1986 till today. And yeah, we were open during the pandemic in the very beginning, and our numbers did decrease some because there were, you know, patients that were apprehensive of getting out, and, you know, everyone's saying stay put and protect yourself and those around you. But, you know, if you need a doctor, you need a doctor. And I like to say that we pride ourselves in keeping people out of the emergency rooms, but now more than ever. I mean, before, my whole push on keeping them out of the emergency room is so they didn't have these huge bills that they eventually couldn't cover. But now it's because they're protecting themselves, because once you walk in those emergency room doors, then you're susceptible to other illnesses and what other patients might have. So we would love to be a medical home for those that need us. And again, all free of charge, no cost. And I'll touch a little bit on our dental services, if you don't mind, because we don't just do medical, we do dental. So we do dental extractions. So those folks who are really in pain, who have toothaches that they just can't bear anymore, we will help them by pulling that tooth and getting them out of their misery. We have dental extraction clinics on Thursday evenings. And so the protocol on that is you call the first Wednesday of the month. You call on that first Wednesday and you get on the schedule for the Thursday evenings in that month.
Okay.
So it is month to month, and you do have to be sure and mark your calendar and call on that first Wednesday. But we have volunteer dentists and oral surgeons in the community that come in and cover that dental extraction clinic and help those folks out.
So you as a client just need to make effort and follow up. I mean, it's with anything. You know,
Absolutely.
this service is there, but you do need to do your part
Yes.
as the client.
Yeah. So call our front desk. The girls there are amazing. They're very friendly. They're very knowledgeable. They can help you determine if you meet our financial qualifications, help you with what paperwork you need to bring in on that first appointment. And just like any doctor's office, there's the normal patient history information and things like that that you need to fill out. But we get you in pretty quickly too, because not only do we not want you to be in pain and suffer, so we try to get you that first available appointment, but then once you're at our clinic, you're in pretty quickly because we value your time. I mean, if you're sitting in our waiting room, then you're taking time away from your family. You might have to leave work and it's an hourly job. So it really amazes me that, you know, I'll talk to people in the community and they'll say, well, we drove by your clinic and there weren't very many cars, or we came in your clinic and there was no one sitting in the waiting room. And I'll say it's because we value your time. Like, we don't want a full parking lot and a full waiting room because that's just taking them away from their regular day-to-day.
Absolutely. And no embarrassment. Go and check where you are on the poverty level.
Yeah.
I will probably guarantee a majority of people will be very surprised that they're there or pretty close.
Absolutely.
And
All ages. And we have a beautiful state-of-the-art facility, so there's no embarrassment with coming to a free clinic, which I'll visit with you about that a little bit. In the beginning, when Miss Jessie Bryant started the clinic, it was named the Northwest Arkansas Free Health Center. So definitely when you hear the Free Health Center, that tells you exactly what the clinic is all about. And so Welcome Health is a little confusing. What does that mean? Did you change your mission? Are you for profit now? No, we are still a nonprofit clinic providing free medical and dental care, but hopefully helping our patients be a little more proud to say, I seek care at Welcome Health.
yes. All this does come at a cost, though. Maybe not for the patients,
Yes.
clients, but you need, like nonprofits all over Northwest Arkansas, you need to get funds. And I know that your fundraisers for 2020, like everybody's fundraisers, were put on hold.
Yes.
And you are coming up with your 35-year
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yeah.
So there is a couple of things that I think you're planning to schedule if all goes well.
Yes.
But also touch on the fact that people don't have to just participate in those. People can take their own initiative and get fundraising.
Yeah, thanks. Well, certainly, we are a nonprofit and we need funds to survive, and we can only serve the patients that we have money to serve. So with our canceled fundraisers in 2020, we were in a bit of a bind, but our supporters rallied behind us and really helped us, and we thank them so much. I'm hoping to have a big 35th anniversary celebration. Again, that's still a little up in the air, so stay tuned. But we do have a 35-year campaign, so there is an easy way to give a one-time donation or a recurring monthly donation, whatever you really feel in your heart that you'd like to give. And I encourage people to just visit our website and make their donation there, or they could always mail a donation, or I would still welcome you at the front door with money.
You will drive to their house and pick up that
Absolutely.
check.
Yes.
So what is the website, and can they donate directly on the website?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'll just say one more thing. We are not federally funded. So often when people think, oh, it's a free clinic, then they assume, oh, the government's helping them. Well, unfortunately, they're not. So every penny raised, it comes from, writing grants and having events and special, amazing Northwest Arkansas community members that really dive in and help us. But our website is welcomehealthnwa.org, or you can always call us at 479-444-7548.
Say that again, just so we have it.
welcomehealthnwa.org, 479-444-7548.
I want to thank Brittany for joining me today. It's always a pleasure.
Thank
We were
you.
talking earlier that it's been so long since most of us have been able to have conversations with each other, so we're missing that,
Yes.
being in our community. I will also say that, if Brittany and Welcome Health for some reason cannot help you, they will direct you to resources. We're very fortunate. Everybody in senior community, family community, we will send you wherever you need to go. So please call, and if you don't qualify for Welcome Health, then they will give you a resource. They truly will. So it's just about reaching out and getting those resources, and we so appreciate that, Brittany. So thank you so much. Well, that's the end of our show. Bambi and Kati and Brittany and myself want to say thank you so much. I think we learned so much today. I certainly going to tap into my mental health, and maybe I do qualify. I probably do, Brittany. I might go on the website and work that out. Thank you for joining in for Bella Vista and Beyond, and we will see you next time. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
And Saturday at various times. You may also view this program on YouTube.com by going to Bella Vista TV. This has been a presentation of Bella Vista Community Television. Thank you for joining us